Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Wow, hello.
Hello.
What's up?
What do we think of that brand new introduction, guys?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well done.
Yeah, I thought so. I worked on that all by myself for about a week.
I don't think anybody has ever actually seen me smile like that.
I just want to know where you found that video of me.
Listen, I can't say my sources. All I know is that they're legitimate. They're definitely not AI. Yeah. Well, we're here in studio, everyone. We're here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Salty Nerd Podcast Studio. It's good to see everyone. RaikenNight's here. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Just had a nice, lovely drive up here. Thankfully, no traffic, no accidents. It was nice, calm drive up here.
Yeah. It's funny. I gotta say, you're one of the few people when I met you in real life, it lined up with everything, with my expectations in my head. You know how you meet, like you'll see people online,
yep,
and you form this image of them in your head, and then when you see them in person, you're like, that's not what I thought you looked like. You're a lot smaller than I thought. So you are the exact same person that I thought you were. So
yeah, try to be. I try not to like change too much about myself because it's just like it's better just to be who I am and not try to be anything other than that. And
Sure.
For the most part, it seems like my audience has vibed with that a lot.
Yeah. And a special, he's not a special guest. He's been with us since the beginning, but he's taken a long break and he's shed his mask. No Green Rocks is here with us.
How you doing, bud?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I apologize for not being on. Show's a bit late for me, but I'm always watching next day, enjoying you guys laugh and having fun. But yeah, I'm really glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me back on. Not that I was never uninvited, but like,
yeah,
I do appreciate you having me on, man.
Life takes over, man. I understand. And obviously, there was never any hard feelings about you doing your thing. I mean,
well, yeah, we all got to work, man.
Yeah. But this is the perfect venue. I mean, everyone comes back every year to celebrate with the community, and I almost didn't do this. I thought, oh, we don't have time. There's not a big deal. And then, like, I don't know, what was it, 4 days ago, Matt, that I reached out and I was like, do you have some room in your schedule? Because I want to get the team back together. That's what I want. And you're here, and I wanted to make sure that we got.
Of course, man. I always like hanging out with you. Even we'll call even when it's not the show.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff, man. I love hanging out with Brahm and Raiken. Good dude.
Yeah.
Like being here. And thank you, Salty Nerd Studios, for having me on. And Matt is running the show behind. So shout out to you, my dude.
Oh yeah. And Brahma,
the new team, like the crappier new Avengers.
Yo,
we got rid of all the old school characters and we brought in Ironheart.
Right, yeah. This is post Endgame midweek up, maybe. No.
Yeah.
No, man. I think everything goes through its own iterations, and this was, this crew. I mean, it's all yeah, it's evolution. This is just a lot of it is just the post show now. Like all you guys would come on after.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we'd widen the pan a little bit. So we just kind of slid you into a more.
So now it's the party version of the show, just during the regular show.
Yeah.
Because the post show was typically a bit wild.
Yeah. Yep. It was the birthday suit of the business show. You know, like it was the party in the back of the mullet.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to be here. We all have a little glass here. Brahma, we decided to get some Buffalo Trace,
Yeah.
and No Green Rocks has got an energy drink, but
well,
you know,
I mean, it's Passover. I can't have scotch.
right. So cheers to being, you know, in person here,
Yeah.
friend to friendship, to the fellowship.
I love you guys.
Let's not destroy any equipment.
Right.
Yep.
Ah,
We were running a little bit early, so we decided to hit up the liquor store right down the road and get some pregame stuff for tonight and for the show.
heck yeah. I feel weird. I don't even have chat pulled up. Let me see what we got.
I was just about to do the same thing. I was like, where's my chat?
I tweeted us out, so if you guys want to retweet it since we're not at a normal time, that'd be helpful.
Hell yeah. Yeah, if anyone's for those watching, if you can tweet out the show, make sure you let everyone know that we are live. We should, I mean, my thing's not updating. I also don't have very good service in here. But
Madhouse Retro Gaming's in there. King
Yep.
Deplorables is in there.
Hey.
Real Wade Nation Gaming and Kenzo.
Hey,
nice.
Kenzo, how you doing, bud? I miss you.
What's going on, everybody? It is great to be back here in Las Vegas. I was here 2 weeks ago. The weather was just like it is now, and I feel like last week was like you guys had a bit of a heat wave down here, and then I came back and they're like, nope, you're not going by the pool or anything. It's going to be 70 again.
Yeah, you from Utah, me from Colorado.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's go to Vegas.
Right.
Get some heat. Get ready for our summer that happens in the next 2 months. And then we get 60s.
Yeah.
See, I'm enjoying this because I'm escaping the heat because it was like 100 the other day in Arizona. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Please let me get away from this already. I'm not ready for the summer heat.
Yeah. Summers up in Utah can get like, we have probably a month where we start hitting 100-degree weather, just dry as a bone.
Yeah, July and August. We get a little bit of summer and then it goes right back to winter.
Yeah. See, I need the more mild temperatures. Like I need to get.
You need 4 seasons.
No, I mean, I want heat, but I don't want winter. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah, I want winter on my terms. I want it for like a
You wanna be
week.
a snowbird.
Yeah, you want Arizona during like the rest of the year, except for the summertime.
Yeah, I guess.
Because like you can go up to Flagstaff, get a little bit of snow if you want some snow. But then if you just want like 50, 60, 70, you go down to Phoenix.
Yeah, if you could pull the ocean up to Arizona, like that'd be where I'd live probably.
Yeah.
Because that would be great. Because I could go jump in the ocean, jump in the water. Because that always resets me. It resets my wife. But I don't want to deal with 4 months of like snow and ice and bad drivers. It's just awful.
I don't even care about the snow and the ice. It's the blistering winds in Colorado that we get. That's like, just constantly chills you to the bone.
Yeah.
Like you've got 20-degree weather and then 30-mile-per-hour gusts going nonstop, and it's just like miserable. Give me the snow, fine. Shut everything down. At least I'm, just buried in the house and don't have to worry about any of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't even get that. We get just enough snow to make it a pain in the butt for like taking the kids to school.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the cold, bitter cold that is the bad part.
Yeah, no
I've gotten used to it, man. I'm used to like desert and everything, but living in Colorado, I got used to the cold so quickly.
You're sick.
I don't know if I could handle the cold. I've never lived anywhere that was remotely cold. I've never lived anywhere that snowed. So I don't know how I would survive that.
It takes about 6 weeks to acclimate to it, but then when it's 7 months out of the year, you don't feel acclimated. You feel trapped.
Well, I mean, I grew up in New England. You would think that I would, it would just be ingrained in my DNA, but there's always been something about me that just wants to get out and get away.
It's a different cold.
Yeah. And I spent 10 years in Hawaii. So it's like, there's never winter out there.
73 every day.
Yeah.
So we task the fans, blow this channel up, make Shags as popular as possible so he can buy a vacation home in Hawaii and whatever other state he would like.
Yeah. It's simple as that. Just please.
Yeah.
I better start getting a salary before you
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I have my chat pulled up. Thank you guys, everyone, for hanging out. We got Madhouse Retro Gaming in there. We did say Kenzo, King Deplorables. Always good to see you. Real Wade Nation Clips. Good to see you, man. Spartans Bar, Ryo, good to see everyone. It's a different time, obviously, for us than we're used to. Normally, we obviously do Wednesday nights, but I needed to go to bed early last night because I was up at 4 to get to the airport to fly down here. And then tonight we have the actual meetup. We're all gonna be hanging out, just going crazy. Over what is the place called again? Horse trailer hideout. The horse trailer hideout. It'll be fun.
Right down from the stratosphere.
Yeah, right down from the strat. Which, if you want to stalk me, that's where I'll be.
That's how you know you're not famous when you
right. Just openly share my location. By the way, I'm turning
to stalk you.
I'm turning on my location services now.
Turns out nobody cares.
Right? Yeah, exactly. No, it's gonna be a good time. What's been happening over the past couple of weeks? I mean, we have some stuff that we can chat about. Let me look at my stuff here. Send Matt a couple links so we can chat about something. Here's one I wanted to bring up because I thought it was funny. I saw a link from Libby Evans about Molly Ringwald. She decided to
What's wrong with her face?
yeah.
No, that's not old.
I think it's a combination of a person trying to age, all while trying to navigate all the plastic that's been injected in there too.
I was gonna say, has your chin always been that big?
You know, Mad Magazine would have a field day with this back in the day.
Like, she looks like the Crimson Chin.
Could be the ink.
Yeah. So yeah, she had some comments about the Breakfast Club. It didn't represent our world in the 1980s either. It represented American high school and suburbia and what kids of that generation were facing. A remake would just have different clicks. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's like saying the sky is blue. Like, yeah, I mean, I get, you're right. I think was that Chris? That wasn't Chris Columbus. It was who made the Breakfast Club? Why can't I think of
The
his name?
same guy that made all of those.
John Hughes.
Hughes.
Yep. Like, I mean, that was from what I understand, that movie was supposed to be a representation of like his high school. Like, he wrote a lot about, and I think all his movies technically take place within the same universe.
Kind of like a Hughes verse. Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't.
I mean, it'll still be relevant for years to come because it's not like really based off the time. It's the archetypes of people. So, you know, you have the jock, you have the nerds. Like, it's gonna last forever. You don't need to update it.
If
Right.
it had been made 10 years later, you would have had a full-on goth or emo instead of one of the characters. But I mean, the jock, the nerd, the hot girl.
But Ali
The
Sheedy was like
mousy
the
girl.
goth, basically, kind of.
Right. I mean, you're going to constantly be replacing one of those, like,
Right.
kind of outer, things. But typically, you're going to have your main archetypes.
Yeah.
So it's true that in a way, yes, it's outdated because of what your situation might have been in high school.
Right.
But that's not what he was trying to do. He was trying to do what his situation was and also capture kind of, how these groups can come together, even though all these cliques are, I mean, high school is cliquey as hell. Everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if anything, it's a microcosm of a microcosm. So you have like, yes, that's not representative of, the broader world, but it's also like you're even focusing on a subset of an actual high school. Like, maybe there is a more diverse nerd crowd. Like, maybe there is a Hispanic geek and a black.
Maybe the
jock
computer geeks have banded with the comic book nerds and actually run the school instead of the jocks. Who knows?
Right.
The nerds are
Depends
now
on
the
your
jocks.
Well, I guess one of the other comments was that it's very white, this movie, and I feel like that really doesn't represent our world today.
I don't care.
But yeah, like,
I'm tired of being told to care about whether we have the correct amount of representation, especially in stuff from the 80s where it really was not on the top of anybody's mind.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Well, it doesn't even represent all of like what white people experience in high school. It's like sure, like you're probably gonna get some people that experience this, but it's gonna be different based off of just individuals or just based off of just like the different cultures around the United States. It's like it's not all gonna be the same.
And what school you went to? I went to a school where we had a graduating class of 110, graduated 2000, and we had 3 black kids in the whole school.
Yeah.
So yeah, it pretty accurately represents the school that I went to.
Right.
Would you expect it to represent like a school in like the South where like maybe like farming's a very big part of like the high school? Because I know like there's like schools that are very just like oriented based off of just like the where they're at, like because like I'm sure in Texas you're gonna have like a very like farm culture where like it's very like cowboy oriented, and like they're gonna have that in that high school. You're not gonna see that in that movie.
Well, even where I grew up, so my high school, which is just your typical high school, and then across town, our crosstown rivals, where it was the agricultural school.
Mhm.
Like they specialized, if you want to be a farmer, you learned how to raise cattle, you learned how to run a farm and all that stuff. So like, I mean, it's everywhere.
So
Yeah.
their softball team was corn fed, huh? Just a bunch of big girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. Well, and the funny part about the Breakfast Club is between like Emilio Estevez and what I can never remember the nerd's name. I can't think of his name right now. But either way, like I felt like those two archetypes, like I kind of walked those two lines. Like I kind of hung out with jock kids and I kind of hung out with nerdy kids, and I like had a blend of that personality. So like, I mean, she's an actress and I don't expect her to be the smartest person in the room, but like, I mean, talk about missing the point of that. It's just to kind of focus on.
It's more rewriting of history.
Yeah. But can't say I'm surprised from these Hollywood. Well, I don't even call her an elite anymore. She's just a Hollywood has been. Yeah.
Has been for a while.
But and that chin, goddamn.
Yeah, we should probably address that Vex will not be on the stream.
Oh yeah, and
even though that's the name of the stream.
Yeah, I just put that in the chat. I was like,
sorry about that, y'all. I had been very presumptuous that she was going to be on. We had talked very loosely about her being here. And then she was not. So sorry about that, but she's going to be at the meetup. So if you're in town and you're watching this on your phone, be sure to come by and see her later tonight.
Yeah, she is here, just not here.
Just not here. Yes. And Garrett will be here at some point. Garrett, stuck in traffic.
takes time to get from the strip all the way down here.
It does. So I'll wait for Garrett to talk about this particular thing because he has his own opinions, but I saw Tom Connors Jr. posted a couple screenshots of this new Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Can you blow that up? I can't really see it too well.
Also, I'm disappointed you're in light mode, not dark mode.
We're silently judging you here, Matt.
Yeah, the CGI is not. I don't know. I feel like the original one looked better than this, and
yeah,
I feel like the Terminator when they had like the liquid
yeah,
dude look better.
Yeah,
exactly like that.
Yeah, Robert Patrick did it better.
How? My question is how. Honestly, if back then our CGI was so much more difficult to make, and now it's so much easier, how the heck did it come out this bad?
Because they
Too
used
many
to be
hands.
given enough time to do it. Now they rush this out to the studios and then tell them, yeah, get this done. And here's your timeline. Okay, we didn't like that first go around that you did because we changed the whole story and did reshoots. So now we need it done again. And then they do it again. And then they get told, yeah, we're doing more reshoots. We're going to need you to redo that CG. So you're getting like the rush job by the end of them doing it, or at least that's what it feels like.
So
I have
shout
no
out to the
actual knowledge
CGI
of that,
guys,
but that's
because
what it feels
that's
like.
horrible, man.
Well, it could also be like the case of like with like the Assassin's Creed game. There's like 19,000 people working on that game, and it's just mediocre. It's like it could be just like there's way too many people that are working on this one thing.
Too many
It's like-
cooks.
Yeah,
could
too many
be.
cooks.
But we've heard plenty of stories from other Marvel productions of them, A, trying to put rush jobs on the CG studios,
Mhm.
and B, telling them, hey, why don't you guys just come up with what's going to happen? We just need a fight scene here. You guys animate it. We have these directions, but it's kind of up to you.
Mhm.
And then we've also got the stories where they're just getting massively underpaid for being greatly overworked.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're getting the best work out of people, or they're doing their best work in the limited time that they're given to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I saw this isn't, we don't have it as a topic, but like in the same vein of CGI, I saw that Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was riddled with CGI, like even on street scenes, like in front of the libraries and stuff like that, it was all blue screened in, like they weren't actually on location at these places.
Yeah.
Like just to save budget. And it's like, I mean, I didn't notice it, but once you look at it again, you're like, oh, you could totally see like the line around their head. It's just not as authentic. And this just looks, I don't know. I know I couldn't do this, but it just doesn't look good as something that came out 20 years ago.
I guarantee you some high school is going to come out. When this movie is done, some high schoolers come out and do it properly. And we're going to be like, what the heck is wrong with everybody?
Right.
Like the whole, like with like the Luke Skywalker scene from
Exactly.
like, Mandalorian, where they like had, where one dude just like redid the face and made it look perfect. And it's like Disney, how come you couldn't do this?
I mean, the Corridor crew, I think, redid that entire scene, and
Mhm.
it came out so much better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it was Monday on comics we were talking about, what was that movie, District 9?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that movie.
That holds up better than anything we've seen in the last few years. And that's 20, 25 years old.
Yeah.
But they took the time to do it right.
Yeah. Well, a good mixture of practical effects and special effects is like what, I mean, I thought we were learning the lesson like over the past couple of years. Like I thought we were almost coming to a return to practical effects, but you know, with the Silver Surfer, you obviously can't really do that. It's very difficult, but I mean, I don't even care. I'm done caring about her being a woman.
I mean, what does it really matter? They're going to do it anyway. People are going to watch the slop,
Yeah.
and that's why they put it out. Once people stop, watching it,
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, okay, well, our audience isn't watching it. But nowadays, it's more about sending, the message or whatever, rather than creating a product for people to watch and enjoy.
Right.
I mean, I've never been a comic book guy, so it really doesn't mean anything to me.
Mhm.
But on the hierarchy of things that I did actually like, it'd be like X-Men, then the Avengers, and then way down here would be the Fantastic Four. Never had any connection to them or any interaction with them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter to me. I like with everything else, I get why people are upset about, say, this specific change. I know Gary's, furious about it. He's going to rip it apart.
Right.
But it means nothing to me, except that once again, Hollywood decided to take something that a fandom liked and throw it on its head just to do it.
Just because.
Which that's where I get angry with.
Yeah.
Do you think they do it specifically because it creates more buzz and more social media, push? Or do you think they're like, because like when that happens, it seems like the movie is more popular.
I don't think it's been more popular lately.
No, but I think
No, I'm talking
think
about the
it
social
could've
media
worked.
buzz.
yeah, I think
Right.
there's
I think it in the past it could have worked to draw more eyes to it, because even bad publicity could be considered good publicity. But I don't think it's working that way anymore. I think they're getting overshadowed by the bad.
yeah, it's like we'll see like what this actually makes at the box office, but I just don't, because what matters ultimately is like kind of like what the normies think of it. Like are normal people going to look at this, like the everyday audience going to look at this and go, oh, cool, like I really like that? Because a lot of people didn't love the first iteration of the Silver Surfer. That movie they didn't, those wasn't that great. I mean, I didn't like it at first either. It kind of grew on me, but I don't know if, I think people are starting to clue in on the fact that like just gender swapping something isn't the fix they thought it would be. It's not the empowerment they thought it would be. I do think it, to some degree, these companies believe that the buzz around something is good or bad, is putting people in the seats. And I think with The Acolyte, that was true to some degree. I think people were like hate watching it to a point that it put a lot more people in front of it than should have been.
Mhm.
But movies, I mean, you have to pay a lot more to like go see it. You're sitting in a theater, you're more invested. Whereas The Acolyte is like, oh, I already watch Disney Plus shows, so I'll sit and watch this.
So we're like in the transition period between old Hollywood and new Hollywood, or old media and new media.
Or we're in the death throes of
Old Hollywood.
major studios and something has to arise from the ashes, or they've got to make a major shift in their policy and what they're doing.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that they went through with the female Silver Surfer. Honestly, like
it's probably just too far gone, because I mean, like, we're gonna probably still get this for like the next year or two, maybe 3, where it's just like, because I mean, these movies probably have just been in production for so long, and they've been making these. It's like it's still just remnants of what was.
Yeah.
And it's like, so until we get like 3 or 4 years in the future, we're not gonna see movies that are trying to veer away from the gender swapping and
See, I don't know if there's any spoilers out there for this one. I haven't gone and looked for them. I haven't cared to. My theory is that they're probably going to kill this Silver Surfer and have. Here's what I would do to get this iteration of the Fantastic Four into the mainline universe. I would have Galactus actually win, and the Silver Surfer dies. They somehow get into the multiverse over to the main Marvel verse, and then Galactus, 3 movies down, is the big bad because he's already destroyed their planet in this movie. That could be successful. I don't know what they're going with, but I could see that being the thing, and that's why you've got this Silver Surfer instead of the one that everybody recognizes more, because you save him for the rest of this series of movies trying to build up Galactus.
That's interesting, and that honestly, that would be a better play in the long run, because having Robert Downey Jr. as the setup of like Doctor Doom. Like, I think is anticlimactic. Like, everyone loves Robert Downey Jr., but it all seemed like a cop-out. People were like, oh, well, you're just trying to get people drawn back in, which might be true. I don't know if Disney has the ability to play the long game here, but at one point they did. At one point they were able to set up a giant franchise that set up this big bad that everyone was terrified of. Everyone in the universe, everyone in the audience was
and
like, oh
then he did win.
And he did win.
They had to come back and figure out a way to get him to be defeated.
Right.
I think they're going to do the same thing with Galactus.
I hope
could
so.
be dead wrong.
Right.
But that's what
be,
I would see being the next arc.
That would be the interesting thing to do, is have like a movie where it's the Fantastic Four, but they lose, because I mean, like, it was so successful with Infinity War. Like, Infinity War was so much better than Endgame because of the fact that Thanos won. And it just like, you got to see something that you wouldn't expect to happen. And so if they actually did set it up where it's like, okay, the Fantastic Four are going to lose, it's like, okay, you're setting it up for future movies to make it more interesting.
Yeah, I would hope so. Again, I don't know if I have faith in Disney at this point to play the long game the way they did, but
honestly, man, I'm going to wait for like the people I like tend to watch on YouTube who review these kind of things before I actually go and see it. Not because, I care too much about what they say, but like, if they say like, this is actually a pretty good movie, I thought it was going to be bad, but this is why I enjoy it, then like, I'll go spend my money, because we all work hard for our money. We don't want to see waste it.
Yeah.
So then I'll probably go see the movie, but till I hear like word of mouth of people that like I know and I trust on these things, I'm staying the heck away from it. And also it's Marvel, and I'm more of like a DC guy. So
if I find out that there are scenes with Vanessa Kirby in an actual skin tight outfit, then I'll go see it.
Sweet.
Well, yeah, I'm actually the opposite. I want to avoid what people are saying about it and just go see it for myself, because I don't want to have like some adulterated view on it. And I'm trying my best to not listen to what people are saying about the trailers, because the Marvel apathy, as I tweeted earlier, has fully set in for me, and I don't quite care about the multiverse and all that stuff. But like, this trailer didn't do anything to make me feel any worse about the movie in general. So I kind of want to just go see it on a $5 Tuesday, special matinee. Because I regardless, this is going to be a movie you watch, and you'll probably want to watch in the theaters, big screen. So I'll go see it. I'm not going to give him my full dollar, but
for clarification, it's more, I just want to know if the movie is good.
Yeah.
I don't care like their full opinion on it, because there are some things I don't agree with them on when it comes to like different films. I'll be like, well, I like this film. You may not have liked it, but I'll enjoy it. But if they say like, yeah, it's not a waste of your time, like Jeremy Johns, if he goes, hey, this is not bad.
Yeah.
then I'll probably watch it. I might just wait for the intro, be like, yeah, it was a good movie, and then I'll stop it, and then I'll go see the movie, and then I'll watch whatever they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all I really need to know is like, is it bad? If it's bad, I probably just won't go see it. But if it's like, if you say it's okay, then I'll probably go see it just because like I'll determine whether or not it's good or great. But as long as if people aren't saying it's bad, then it's like it might be worth seeing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure I'll be asked to see it for one of the many shows that I'm on.
Yeah.
But as far as it has to be seen in the theater, if they can bring Galactus down from able to eat a planet to able to stand on a planet, then I can bring the movie down from has to be seen in a theater on a gigantic screen to can be seen on my phone.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I'll just call Brahma and ask him how it is.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, you guys know me at this point. A lot of me is over the doom and gloom of.
Yes, Mr. Positivity.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Trust me, I'm still negative as shit sometimes. There's no doubt. But like these things,
You try not to go negative until there's reason to go negative.
yeah.
While everybody else is
You need some
doom and
optimism in
gloom,
life.
waiting
Yeah.
for something to be mad about on some of these things.
well, yeah, and like, and that's kind of like what I was saying to you is like, I want to see something like an unadulterated version of it before, because if you form your opinions on what other people are saying too quickly, it can ruin that experience. It's like same way with like games. Like I was playing South of Midnight. I'm trying not to listen to what other people are saying about it because that is tainting like the actual gameplay experience. I'm trying to focus on a game element that someone mentioned or a story beat and like waiting for it to happen. It's like, just let it come and enjoy that thing and then make the decision on your own. Because I mean, now I can have a more informed and balanced opinion on it. And it before anyone jumps down my throat, it doesn't discount any of the hard work that anyone does on YouTube. I mean, people's livelihood is literally picking apart movies in ways that I just don't. I like to enjoy movies in different ways and TV shows and games. And oftentimes that is by not engaging elsewhere. I've learned that it's ruining the experience.
And we talked about it a little bit last week on our show on Wednesday night. We talked about none of us got into this as actual movie critics.
Yeah.
But we've kind of slotted ourselves into that position in a lot of ways because on a lot of the shows we're talking about movies in a critical way, but we're still not movie critics.
Yeah.
So we're not picking it at the same, or we're not breaking it down at the same way that an actual movie critic would do. We're picking apart the things that we personally don't like or things that we see in it.
Right.
And there can be a lot of good in something and still a lot to pick apart.
Yeah.
See, I can get that when you're actually looking forward to it. Like you were saying, you're playing the game and you're actually excited for the game and what's happening. So you don't want that to be ruined for you. For me, the Superman movie that's going to come out, right? I've been avoiding everything, trailers, because I want to go in there fresh. So I completely get it. But like for Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
Okay,
Sucks being a DC fan. I feel like everything's just.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Let's just I'm cautiously optimistic.
That's good.
But I'm a Superman fan. That's kind of in the.
It's sad going from like the 90s and early 2000s with like DC and their animated stuff because they were killing it with the animated stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's what I grew up on. And then it's just like, and then you got like the Great Batman with Christian Bale, and then just after that, it's just kind of just downhill.
Yeah.
I think after Flashpoint, the animated movie, it kind of went downhill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. King Deplorable says, Shags, I'm tired of your reasonable takes. I think I'm starting to just make people mad because it's a fair and balanced thing. Well, I was talking to Comics Division, after breakfast.
Yeah.
And it's like it's difficult because I feel in a tight spot a lot of times because I can't, or not that I can't, I won't form the opinion on something now just on knee jerk, on a headline. Like I need to dig into something. I need to dig into something like Israel Palestine. I need to dig into something like Carmelo Anthony. I can't just sit there and be like, yeah, that was very obviously that. That's very obviously that, because it doesn't serve anyone to just, I don't know it. And this is where the big debate with Dave Smith and Douglas Murray came in, is that there's this divide of people like, why can't I talk about it? I'm not an expert in it, but I still want to have an opinion on it. And the other side is, well, you you should be somewhat of an expert, or at least been somewhere to understand something. And the whole discussion is being lost under, well, I think that whole discussion was lost under jargon. Honestly, I think people are just mad that he had an English accent and he kind of sounded like a prick.
Yeah, I mean, I can, as somebody who's actually been and everything like that, I sat there and I watched the entire internet kind of misrepresent the things that Murray was saying, and also misrepresent the things that Dave was saying. And you know, on the internet, there's always going to be one half that agrees with whatever you say, and then another half that doesn't.
Yeah.
I grew up with people like Murray. Like, most of my family speaks Queen's English. So like a lot of people are like, well, he sounds snotty. I'm like, no, dude, that's just how he speaks, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do understand the frustration kind of on both sides, being like, hey, you're not an expert in this. But I think the point that he was making is, like, if you're talking for something, as long as you're talking about it and pushing it as much as you're, like, at least go see what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't think, honestly, it was surprising to me. Like, and the thing is this is where the issue of nuance is lost on a lot of people. Because I like Dave, I like Douglas. If people had watched Douglas Murray in another like situation, debating someone like, say, on the woke left, they would be cheering this man on about how well spoken he is, about how good he is at dismantling arguments, well articulated. But because they went up against someone that they really like, it was game over. And they tried to do the, well, he's just arguing from authority, you know, making an argument from authority, which you could argue he was doing. But I just don't think it's out of line to say that if you go to a place, it's much different than just hearing someone else's information about it.
You'll understand everything a lot better, even if you do it begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Like, as he said, you can take a plane trip over there. I mean, if Dave doesn't have the money for a flight, I'm sure he can set up a GoFundMe in like 2 seconds for it. It's not
right.
It's not that difficult.
Well, let's simplify it down from that conflict to just what we've been saying for the past 4 years and making fun of Biden and Kamala for not going to the border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While plenty of people went to the border and took video of what was happening at the border.
Right.
I mean, most people, like, I know, like my friends, like Shags knows, he can be like, hey, I have a question about this. And, you know, I'm like completely honest, like in my DMs, I'm pretty honest about, yeah, this is how I feel. You know, I'm conflicted on this matter and this matter, you know, like, have conversations with people like who have lived, like, I'm not going to talk about Utah and its politics, but I will call you and be like, hey man, you know, can you like break it down for me and understand? But I'm also not going to go for like a year and a half after you've spoken to me, and pretend like I'm like the I'm a comedian has lost all its like wall. Like, don't listen to me, I'm a comedian, but you're also talking about something over and over and over again. So people are going to consider you an expert on it. And I get it. Like, people want to talk about these things, and I'm not saying don't talk about it, but if you're going to stay honest, like, Gary is a nerd, so he talks about nerd culture 100%.
Yeah.
But like, if there's another subject he's not an expert on, he'll talk about it for however long the super chat was on there, and then he'll move on. He's not going to harp on it for, you know, months on end.
Right. Well, I lost my thread there, but I mean, yeah, it just, to me, it just always comes back to, you can certainly have an opinion on a thing, but this is what I was going to say is with in the case of Dave, like, he's well read, and I think he's memorized a lot of stuff that's good information, and he's right about things. But how did I forget again what I was going to say?
I think the eloquence of Douglas Murray is the thing that is the most difficult for me, because you know, a lot of times you have the same thoughts, but you can't bring it out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not as smart as Douglas Murray, obviously not. So I can't articulate certain things, which is why I prefer to do these things, you know, privately. Yeah, because there's no area for me to, you know, screw myself up. Like, I have private conversations for a reason. Yeah, and you know, that's just how it works. There are certain things you're not going to change my opinion on, but I will give you my opinion freely.
Yeah, I mean, the free exchange of ideas is always there. But when Dave Smith goes on, and this was my thought, when Dave Smith goes on to a news program, like a legitimate news program, and talks about these subject matters, you've now represented yourself as, if not an expert, someone close enough to that.
Someone of authority.
Right. Someone of authority there. So like it would just make sense. And Douglas Murray's point was you should at the very least go to the crossing points, like see what these places look like, understand like what Palestine looked like before October 7th, like, and again, I don't think anyone was making a case that everyone was fully right or wrong either way. But again, I thought both people made great points, but everything was getting lost. And one of my big issues after the fact was that Dave kept like leaning into like wanting to prove how right he was, like on Twitter, like sharing videos and like, oh, look at him like arguing with himself and like mashing these clips together. And I'm like, it's not an L, but like, let's move on to the next thing. Like
I will be completely honest. Dave should not have scoffed Douglas should not have scoffed at Dave when he said like, have you ever been there? And he goes,
right.
I don't think that was probably the best way to do with it.
Agreed.
But
you should have answered, well, I've never been to Europe either.
Yeah. Like
right.
It was extremely combative, and I get it because you had Joe and Dave kind of against Murray, but yeah. I don't think Joe was against anything. He was just there for the kind of conversation. So I think Joe's been getting a lot of flack that he doesn't necessarily deserve. And I've been watching like a lot of Douglas Murray interviews after the fact, and I think he realizes he may have like gone a tiny bit too far.
I think he's frustrated,
Yeah,
like,
no, I completely understand it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things going on in my life that I can't particularly talk about, but right. I'm very close to the subject. So I actually stay away from it publicly because I know not everybody's going to agree with me.
Right.
And it's just, I don't particularly care what other people think because nobody knows what's like actually going on in my life. So it's just,
well, it goes to like this phrase that's been co-opted by the left for the past few years, this idea of lived experience. And this was what they were trying to dunk on Douglas Murray about how he was clowning on people who were talking about lived experience and then, him say, well, you have to be there to understand this. It's not really what he was saying. What he was saying is like, you might have a completely different view on something.
Outlook can be affected
right.
by actually witnessing something versus just having secondhand, thirdhand witness accounts.
Exactly. So like, it's just, but the left co-opted the phrase of lived experience for so long
it's become a dirty word.
Well, it would pertain to like identity politics for them. And this isn't that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like a war zone. We're talking about a place where things are happening right this second that matter, like not to say identity politics doesn't always matter. I'm sure there's some instances, but it's been a nothing burger for so long that something that they've made up. But this was like, no, go to the place. You might understand it better. And
like
then
just remove Israel and Palestine from the equation.
Yeah.
Put it on any other topic you can think of and be like, okay, I guess that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a movie review guy if you want to get in, like I go to Jeremy Johns for movie reviews. He may not be like Ebert and what
Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, it may not be those guys, but like he's been reviewing movies for a very long time. So like I trust his take on these things, but he doesn't not watch the movie. Like he'll watch the movie and then drink afterwards if it's bad.
Right. Mr. Miyagi had responded to a tweet that I put out. It was so Konstantin Kisin, was it his new post that he put out, the what Podestan this one, it was called Prepare for the Unprecedented. I'm about to admit I was wrong. But I had retweeted it saying, this is like, he perfectly articulated my thoughts on everything here. And then Mr. Miyagi had responded and said, I think Murray's underlying point is reasonable, though I think Kisin takes it too far. Discussion by non-experts has great value, and to an average Joe, Murray came across as condescending. The "you haven't been there" line reeked of elitism in the sound bites, especially. with that accent. And I don't know, and I don't think he even understands why, but that only makes him seem further removed from the masses, dismissing the pseudo-historians, revisionists, etc. used to be easy, but it shouldn't be. I want experts of all kinds to have the argument in their corner. So I wanted to respond to this.
I think that's very well stated.
It is very well stated, but I do want to say, like, just because someone sounds elitist because of their accent,
Yeah.
like that to me, I don't know. That doesn't.
That also tells me you haven't really listened to anything else he's done. And
Right.
He's been around for years.
Yeah.
So your knee-jerk reaction to him based on the way he sounds says you have not had any other connection to this guy.
Well, and that,
Because I've watched tons of crap from the guy.
yeah, and he's smart. He's smart as a whip. He knows what he's talking about. And this is where you have to, this is where I think it's not anyone's fault necessarily, but we often gravitate to something like this, like, oh, he sounds condescending. He sounds like such a cunt because of how he's, whatever. And it's like, well, I get you. I get it. I hear you, but listen to what he's saying. It's important to know that he's trying to reach you on a level that, he's trying to weed through here, be nuanced about it, not just hard line. He's not just trying to be right about a thing. I think he made mistakes, like you said, about, scoffing at certain lines.
I mean, there's a way to have a conversation with people. And I think the reason why he was doing that, because he felt like it was more of he had to be more defensive because there were two people that were obviously on a different side. Not that Joe falls on either side, but
Right.
he does have a clear bias to one or the other.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that Joe and Dave Smith are really good friends. And
Yeah.
It's as much as he probably would like to keep his biases out, I think it's just it's hard to do something like that and to be fair to both parties.
I mean, as far as Douglas Murray goes, I can understand why people think he sounds condescending, but I grew up with people who spoke like that my entire life. I never viewed it as condescending. I just viewed it as, oh, that's how somebody talks. I mean, he's also highly educated. So what do you go to Cambridge?
I think so.
So they have a certain cadence when they speak, and and you'll see that from a lot of Cambridge.
He's intelligent. I mean, he's an intelligent guy who has visited many parts of the world.
And we don't if you agree with Douglas Murray, you don't have to agree with everything. You could say I like this or I like that. Just because I agree with him on one thing doesn't mean I agree with him on another.
Yeah, 100%. Oh boy.
Hey, man.
The man, the myth, the legend enters. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, I think the only, Quarter Black Garrett.
The only one. Is that the camera right there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
How you doing? How's it going?
Great.
What are we talking about?
We were just talking about the debate or discussion between Dave Smith and Douglas Murray.
I did not participate or watch any of it.
You didn't see anything?
Nope.
I actually didn't watch it either,
completely
which makes
got
it
out of
funny,
it.
guys.
Okay.
I've only watched.
Well, I mean, we're not
what's
talking about
the-
the subject. We're talking about kind of more the personalities that were involved.
Right.
And as you saw, online, some people said one person won, one
Right,
person,
the typical.
and we were talking about Douglas may have sounded a little bit elitist,
A
but
little bit prissy.
it depends
Yeah.
on where you I grew up around people who spoke like that their entire life. So I did not see the elitism
Okay.
that came from it. And we were kind of just covering that kind of
It's
thing.
throwing me off that I can see the bottom of your face.
Yeah, right.
weird,
I
right?
don't know what to do with
For
it.
Weird.
all of you who don't know, for all of you listeners, yes, it is the first time mask off on the live stream. I figured, it's about time. I do have a secret channel right now.
Yes, let's bring that up.
Only
secret
has
channel?
about 10 subscribers. It's nothing big. I didn't want, because a lot of people make big deals about doing the mask off thing.
Right.
And it's
And then it's like
it's
a
like super
failure. It's not very
cringe.
good.
I'm more like, oh God, please don't. It's gonna be horrible, man. Everybody's gonna... But I do not have gorilla teeth except for my pronounced canines. So, but yeah, so I only have 2 videos on there. One is pending right now, only 10 subscribers. If you like me and my content and who I am, that is the channel for you. I also am opening up a Patreon, so.
And what kind of content are you
Yeah,
going
what
to
are
be
you doing?
doing?
What are you
there?
doing?
And it's more about the things that I'm interested in rather than what I'm seeing other people are interested in. So the second video is coming out. I think it's called From Stagnation to Innovation. Basically, when I started all this, I was inspired by Friday Night Tights, and every time I watched the show, I got inspired to create the memes and create more content, and your editing work inspired me.
Thank you.
And when I originally created the channel, I was just out of my appendix surgery and I was at a very low point. And I started watching the people that I've gotten close to. It's pretty awesome that I can even have conversations with some of you. And I kind of wanted to share, like, it's okay to kind of lose your inspiration for a little bit. And in the next video, I'm going to it's talking about, like, go watch the people you like. Pick things up. When people mention things, just be like, oh, I'm just going to create. You don't even need to put it out. Just create little by little and you'll get that inspiration back. Only reason why I haven't been doing like too much is because my work hours have been absolutely bonkers. But I hope people can watch it and kind of get to know me a little bit better.
Well, now that we can see your face, it'll be easier.
Yeah.
I would ask everybody. I've been for months. I've been like, hey, Shags, should I do it? Should I do it? I'm scared. It's like, whatever. One day it's gonna happen, and
I'm the wrong person to ask, though. I just told you where I'm
with
staying.
a manly
so.
beard like
What?
that, like. But yeah, I
Like,
think
there's
horror
my room, the floor.
Amarada
up.
just told me to stop being a pussy and
I mean,
just do it. So I ended up.
We
just
weren't
doing
so concerned about your anonymity as just you showing that ugly mug.
Yeah, I mean that's every. I think the worst is, like, put that mask back on.
There's no going back now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, sorry guys. I apologize to your eyes, but
Put the gorilla back in the zoo.
hopefully you guys enjoy the channel.
This
And
makes me
in the Patreon, I'll be kind of helping more people. I'm not a editing expert like some of these people that I'm close to, but I do like passing on my knowledge to people who don't know, or like they ask me like, hey, how do I even start?
Yeah.
So, when they ask me for something, I'll help out. I never claim to be an expert on any of it, but I will always give my information to anybody who wants to learn. Right now, I'm working with a relatively big editor, and he's teaching me Adobe Premiere, which is an animal and a half. So
It is.
I hope to make it easier for other people who want to learn these things. Because when I first started, Lofty Pixel helped me do the keyframing, and then I took it from there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see more people create rather than just sitting there not doing too much, because
Rest in peace, Lofty.
it's our job. It's our job as people who consume this content to be like, okay, well, there's something that's missing. If I can do it, I will. So I hope people get that drive again, and that is what's going to change culture. Like, don't do it with a message. Like, the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, is to make content specifically for a message, but make content that you think you'd enjoy and the other people will enjoy it as well, and you'll find your own crew. I mean, when I spoke to you last, you created your own channel and you were making content more for the people, like
My peeps.
your fan base, and I thought that was a really cool idea, and that's actually when I actually started to create it. So
I'm
thank
glad
you
to
for
see
the
it.
inspiration, dude.
I'm glad to see it. Like the capability is so free now. Like when I was a kid, like a teenager, I remember like making movies or something. It was so difficult.
Mhm.
And even before me, it was way harder. You had to like edit on like
The
reel to
linear,
reel.
the linear editing.
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
that was so hard to do, but people still made it happen. And
Yeah.
now you have your phone that does everything
Yep.
And
on your
you go,
phone.
You go 10 more years back to where I was doing stuff like in high school, doing the yearbook editor. And
You get on
you
Avid.
had to have like a Macintosh. It
Mhm.
was one program. You had to work with the Jostens publisher with their programs and
Their
everything.
proprietary software. Yeah.
Exactly. There was no way to do anything outside of what they allowed you to do.
Right.
You-
So like you could do anything.
You had the constraints, and you could do anything within those constraints and stretch it. but that was the limit to your creativity. And now you can do pretty much anything you can imagine, to the point of even putting somebody else's face or voice on anybody's face or voice.
This is true.
Or
It's
on
wild.
anybody's body. It's
an embarrassment of riches.
It's gone
so
crazy
much
just during our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wonder, with that aspect, is like, I wonder if we have so many options. It's like
going into Costco and being like, which
It's
ketchup?
too
No,
much.
it's like going on Netflix and
Yeah.
just scrolling through all the movies
Yeah.
instead of just picking one. It's like, well, this one would do better at this. This was I'm kind of in the mood for that. No, I don't think I'll do that. Let's keep scrolling. Yeah, there's just too many ways to do things right now that it's hard to settle on one.
Yeah, I mean, like when you talk to people, right? When you talk to people about like, oh, you stream on YouTube. Have you tried this platform? Have you tried that platform? Have you tried that?
TV Mugs,
Try
StreamYard.
multi stream, and
Hell.
you're like, bro, I just need to focus on this one thing.
Yeah.
And then when I grow, I can expand. But you can't throw 100 different choices at somebody who just wants to get into it,
Right.
Yeah.
and be like, okay, you choose. It's like, no, just baby steps. Remember, each you got to remember, everybody started from nothing, and to where they are today, you don't know the kind of sacrifices and stress and everything that went behind it. It didn't happen overnight
Yeah.
for a
And
lot
we
of
all
people.
know the only real choice is for all of us to move to Vegas and just hang out at the Salty.
Oh,
Dog
yeah.
Lodge.
oh, okay.
That's right.
Who's
No
funding
choice
this? Are
is
you
there. It's just automatically done well.
Are you funding it? You're gonna move us all out here?
Hell no.
Oh, okay. I was hoping.
He has to
I'm gonna
get
throw that
hair
out there, everyone.
transplant first before he does that.
I ain't getting none of that Blaze money.
Oh. This is the normal hump.
Go watch, please.
Yes.
Other people aren't.
Yes.
Normal world.
Normal world.
The sketch comedy in that, like, I have to watch it at work because it just the hours, and it's really hard not to giggle while I'm working. So
Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish we could do more of it, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully we can get back there.
I think the one of the issues are like the idea of our lives being so easy. It makes things like, I don't know. I was talking about this morning. I did a stupid TikTok live, just myself talking,
why would you do that to yourself?
because
Yeah,
I'm
what are you doing?
awesome.
He's out there creating. He's just doing.
But have you tried the YouTube live shorts? I'm coming to just
Yeah. The idea, like the overabundance that we have makes I think cresting the hill or the uphill battle that much worse, because that used to be our lives. Was every morning you wake up and you have to, like, I mean, you're trudging uphill because I can't find food. There's no clean water. I mean, obviously I'm dialing back 100 years, but like even 80 to 50 years,
Yeah.
we've done nothing but make our lives easier through technology, which is great. But people also forget, like, the only way to constantly improve yourself is to challenge yourself. So when your life is nothing but easy day after day, it is really hard to say, I'm going to wake up today and make my life difficult.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I should go to the gym.
Yeah, like I need to go to the gym. Oh, I'm too fucking tired. Well, you're not going to get stronger.
Yeah.
So keep being fat, asshole.
Preaching to the choir. on
Yeah,
that shit,
bro.
I've lost like 35 pounds in a
But
matter
there's-
of 3 months. So
There's
like I
another
get
side to that. We didn't have to punish ourselves before. It was just part of everyday life that we would do things outside.
Yeah.
Like we grew up outside.
Yeah.
But now
Kids,
you have to
kids
force
now
yourself
do
outside.
not.
Yeah.
Because there's so many temptations to just stay inside. It's like it's nice inside. There's AC. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
It's AC inside. Texas, it's hot outside. Okay. You know, there's a lot of distractions. I could be working on something. I could be sitting and
working.
watching TV. I
Could
could
be
be hanging
doing
out with the kids, or I could be, you know.
Yep.
Why not just get outside? Like it's been interesting having kids that should be outside at the same age that I was, like, outside every single day, but there's no other kids outside.
Right.
So even if you were
Which
like,
was
hey,
part of the
get
reason
outside,
We were outside. Was
Yeah.
because
there's
all of
like,
our
I'm gonna
friends-
play tag.
Let's
I'm
all
gonna play
get on our
football.
bike and let's
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah, let's go to the creek and like go down and get muddy or something.
Let's
Yeah.
build a
It's just
dam
like-
in this little creek that, you know,
Oh, I did that all the
adults
time.
are gonna
Oh, yeah.
scream about, because then suddenly somebody's yard starts flooding. But who cares? Go knock over the rocks. It only
Yeah.
took us a whole day to build it. It takes you 2 seconds to destroy it. Leave the kids alone.
So it's like when we were kids, that was all you had to do. So you did it. But now it's like you have so many options to do other things. You have to force yourself to go to the gym, but it's like, just go outside, you have to force yourself to go do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think doing it slowly rather than all at once is probably the best way to do it. Like chore stacking, you know what that is? Like while
You do one chore one day, then add another one to it the next day.
yeah, like
Oh, right.
or like
Okay.
if you can do one chore and the chore is something, I don't know, let's just say involves your hands, then hop on the treadmill or something like that while you can just do the
I don't know what to do with my
I don't know
hands.
what
you know. Like if you can brush your teeth and stand on the scale.
Yeah.
Like these kind of things.
That's a weird thing to do, don't you think?
It's
I
a weird
mean,
thing for
yeah.
brushing your teeth to be a chore.
These are
rather than
analogies.
Yeah.
The fictitious world.
I don't want to brush
making
my
here
teeth,
as
but
a-
you know what I'm saying.
General hygiene is now a chore.
Starting small is okay when it comes to this. Like as somebody who has recently started to exercise a lot more, I did not overdo it. Well, partly because I had appendix surgery, so like I couldn't do everything.
Mhm.
It was okay. I'm going to do this exercise this week, and then slowly, and then I'm going to add this exercise, and now it's I can do every exercise I need to do in like 30 minutes.
Well, and even like it's a mindset too. I was thinking about as I was going through the airport this morning. Like if you're going up an escalator, if there's no one in front of you, walk up the escalator. Like
if you're going across the flat escalators that they have at
Walk.
airports, walk.
or even
That's just fun.
I mean,
You ever walk on one of
You
those?
want
and
to
you're
feel
like
like a
super
superhero? Like
super fast.
Yeah.
Get to your
awesome.
destination so much sooner.
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
And if there's really nobody there, go on the one that's the opposite direction of you and walk on that
Oh,
one.
damn.
Or, and you know what? And here's a challenge for every single one of you, and I know you'll fail. The next time you come up to, it's the escalator down and the escalator up, and then there's the
stairs in
stairway
the
up.
middle.
Take
the
the stairs.
take the stairs.
I know you won't do it, but do it.
I did that the other
I-
week because there was like a group of us. I was like, and I got down the stairs faster than everybody
Yeah.
was just standing
yeah.
there waiting for the escalator to get down. It's just like I was just
Exactly.
waiting for them.
And
I-
you're just like, hey,
And like if you're
You know.
winded by the second floor, right? Okay. Take the elevator. Once you take the elevator from the second floor to whatever floor you're on. And just
In the name of
keep
being
bringing it
healthy
up.
this morning, when I came out of my room on the 5th floor, instead of walking the 15 steps to the elevator and going downstairs to have my cigarette, I walked down the 5 flights of stairs and went out the door
Attaboy.
to have
And
my
had
cigarette.
Attaboy.
I think once you realize like, oh God, these stairs are hard for me, that's when you need to like work out.
No, I'll tell you when it is. When it's embarrassing. When I leaned over and I was out of breath tying my shoe, that was it. That was it for me.
Or like your
That's why you
stomach
don't
is
lean.
too
You get
far
on
in the way.
ground
You make a
and
sound
bring your foot
audibly.
to you.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you're a dad. Like you guys are dads, so like dad sounds are a thing.
Yeah.
Like when you sit down,
Yeah.
yeah. When you get up,
Waking up,
it-
getting out of bed.
exactly. So nobody can blame you for that. Those
You're
of
a
us
little
who
creaky
aren't
for a little bit.
parents.
And when you have just a little bit of silence in the living room and you nor the wife nor the kids have anything to say and everybody's just like
Yeah. There's an account that I follow on TikTok. I recommend everyone find. He might even be on other platforms. His name is Higher Up Fitness. So good at what he does. Very motivating. He shared something the other day that really it's starting to stick with me. Just because I'm a dad now too. But he went on this hike. It was somewhere in Washington or Oregon. It was like not 4 mile. I want to say 20-mile hike, like in and out. It took 11 hours to do. But it's a couple miles like up. It's a lot of elevation in a short amount of time. And he took a picture and he showed his mom, and his mom was like, I hope you're grateful for this picture because what you did is something that most people will never see in their entire life, but it's because you take care of yourself.
Mm.
And it's not, like, you don't think of stuff like that, but it's once you're you get to a place where you're in shape and you're able to explore places that are in the middle of nowhere and you have to hike to them. It's the truth, and it can be inspiring. So it's just a little something.
I think you should, if you haven't in a long time, book a trip where you have to hike.
Yeah.
And I did that one time. It was dumb. My friend was like, "Hey, we're gonna hit all the highest peaks in America. Like that's his goal, and we're gonna do one in Texas. And Texas is pretty low. There's not any mountains, but the highest
mesas.
The highest point is Guadalupe mountain range.
Mm.
So we're gonna go to the top of that. I'm like, cool. Did no plan, no practice or prep or anything. thinking, oh, it's just gonna be like a hike. Like we're not gonna go crazy. It was brutal. It was like it was a world changing event.
But that
'Cause I
tough
got out of the
before
car.
going to South America last year.
Oh,
right?
dude, yes. I prepped for that.
Yeah.
So like I got out of the car and it was like 20 steps, and I was like, oh, this is gonna
mountain.
suck. And it was like 8 hours of
when you
just
hit
horrible.
the top, though.
Oh, it was great. It was fantastic. I got to the top and everybody else was there with me. It was a lot of braking and sitting for a little bit and doing it, but I pushed myself way farther than I thought I could, but I could get there. So like you should do that you should prep. But plan a trip like that. Something that it's not too crazy out there, but further than your comfort zone.
See,
and you can do it.
I've taken a different path than all of you guys on this.
Okay.
2-pack a day path.
2 packs a day, half a bottle of bourbon, and I bought life insurance on myself so that my kids are well taken
Yeah,
care
there
of
you
when I go.
I'm not sure how many like military people are watching, but like a lot of people who are in the military are like, yeah, I'm not hiking again. I'm not marching again. I'm not doing that. It's not for me. And that's kind of where I was. I think the next step after like the calisthenics I'm doing is because I live in Colorado. Like, come on, man. If you're not hiking, like moving in Colorado,
Get out in the mountains, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm
beautiful
kind of a lazy bum, but like, give me. I'm 3 months into my 6-month journey, so give me like another 3 months, and
you
maybe
better
I'll
be
give you
doing
a
the
call, Shags, and
incline.
we'll go hike Pikes Peak or something.
No, just go do the incline
There's
over and over and over.
There's a great comment in chat by Krabby Patty. He says, to bring it back to Dave Smith's side, we got a bunch of fat guys talking about fitness.
Hey, excuse
agree.
me. I lost 35 pounds in a matter of 3 months. I think I could talk a little bit about fitness. Not that I'm an expert, but I can just say what I did.
I honestly think I'm the only person who's gotten larger in here over the last 2 years.
Really?
You slimmed down quite a bit. You did. You've always been
You're just
athletic.
Yeah, you're not fair, man.
What the heck?
Shags is gay.
Don't even say
I might
Listen,
put
just-
on a few pounds after injuring my knee, but
Oh, that's right. You did. You hurt yourself, right?
Mhm.
What were you doing? You were doing a little.
I was doing some flips
String
and
Backhand
you were
spring,
doing. Oh,
half
so
round off.
you're
Doing a couple flips,
you weigh enough that you can actually go in the air.
yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, I was doing some flips and I landed wrong and my knee gave out on me, and now I'm wearing a knee brace and not going to be doing some flips for a while.
And like when I started this, I was like, "Hey, Quarter Black, let's do it together." Remember, I was texting you like, "Hey, man, let's go." And then I was like, "You know what? I'm not waiting for anybody. I'm gonna do it myself. Let's go."
That's a good way to do it. Because like a lot of things in life, I end up waning and wanting to like other people to do with me.
Accountability partner.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then it's like you're on a different journey than other people are, so it's hard to like match those journeys up. at the
And
same
no
time.
journey is more or less than the other in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's like
you know?
okay, you got to be able to do it yourself, and just
Mhm.
if somebody else wants to come along or not, that's cool.
Yes.
but you got to
You guys'
self-motivate.
journey to reduce by a cup size
Yeah,
coincided
I'm like at
with
an
my
A
journey
plus, I
to
think, right now.
grow a cup size.
Oh, you're getting high. Okay. You're on
I'm
your.
doing it the natural way, though.
Yeah,
none
you're
of
beefing
those,
up.
none of those hormones that all the kids are taking.
You're not paying for your cup sizes.
Exactly.
Oh man. Oh, I'll mention that it's good, like a decent segue. I finally the pit ended the show. The Pit.
I heard it's good.
It is good. I highly recommended it. I think I gave it a 90% on Criticless. Shout out to Criticless. The show has its moments of being a bit preachy. It does lean left. I think Noah Wiley is a notorious Trump hater, from what I've been reading. But
Not aware.
it got renewed for a second season. And I sat there at the end of it. I'm like, what are they going to cover? They've covered almost every social issue in this first
They're
season.
going to cover the lawsuit with ER.
Yeah. But it's a great show, medical drama. That doesn't, what I thought was fascinating about this show compared to others was that it didn't focus on the patients. It focused on the doctor's dynamics. So, but not in a like soap opera-y kind of.
Wasn't
Not
ER
Grey's
like that?
Anatomy. ER was
like the drama
especially in the
between-
beginning, and then there was some love lines and stuff, but ultimately it was mostly the doctor's stories.
Yeah. And this
Scrubs was actually probably
Scrubs.
mostly
the doctor
Oh,
stories,
yeah.
even though it was a
I love
I was gonna say
Yeah,
Scrubs
it's a
is
great
like my
show.
favorite.
I love that
show.
show. It's just so good.
What was it up until the 10th? Was it up until the 10th season?
Well,
There
Yeah.
there wasn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever that thing was.
Dr. Cox was great.
Oh yeah.
but this one was interesting because I think it delved into the trauma that doctors face, like, and that goes like undiagnosed or unhandled with, because Noah Wiley's battling with PTSD from COVID is what his thing is, and this like trauma throughout the day. I know.
Yeah,
Yay.
you kind of lost me, right?
Oh man, people are sick at the hospital. What am I gonna do?
Well, yeah, maybe I okay. I hope it didn't turn anyone off the show.
No,
It
it's
is a
fine.
great show.
Go
Um,
watch it. Don't take our advice for it. Go watch it.
It's well,
Make up your
It
own.
can be
mind.
acted well. I mean,
what's interesting about the show is that it very quickly I cared about these characters and what they were going through extremely quickly, and then towards the end, so it takes place like 24, so it's a 12-hour shift that extends a little bit into the night shift.
interesting.
So you learn really quickly who all these people are, you learn their backstories, you start to care about who they are really fast, and then once the night shift starts, they have this, I won't spoil it, but like they have this really catastrophic event. The night shift comes in, and they're able to like really get you to care about those characters as well in a very short amount of time. So the writing, I think, is there.
Mm.
It does occasionally like become preachy and sort of like break this fourth wall where it's like trying to like wag a finger in your face. But I think that the drama that's happening in the show overshadows it for the most part.
Mm.
Overall, you should watch it. It just finished. You can watch it on Max if you Max if you have it.
Max.
Sorry.
No, no.
11-year-old.
You know what show I actually recently watched and that I enjoyed like more than I probably should have was the House of David show on Amazon.
I've not heard of that.
It is
I've only got a few episodes,
Oh,
but it's
someone
good.
said it's
it
really
is
good.
fantastic.
Mhm.
The music is much like the way my family sung, so I was very happy. They get like, if you're like a religious person, you will be like, oh, they added that in the show. That is amazing. And
So
like-
what is this about? Is it that
It's about
the
King
house-
David.
King David?
yeah, it's about King David before he slew Goliath.
Wow.
So we
So,
all
like, still
we
a-
all
a
know
farmer,
the story. Yeah,
like
we
a
all know the
sheep herder,
story,
shepherd,
right?
Yeah.
So it starts, I think, like maybe a couple time wise, I'm not really sure, but like the end of the show is like the end
The
of the
event.
story of, you know, when David slew Goliath, and it's like the whole journey. As somebody who speaks Hebrew,
That's
they got
cool.
the Hebrew spot on. I was very happy about that. And although there are like different discrepancies, like I can understand that because it's a TV show. And I've been begging for a like Game of Thrones style, like biblical stories kind of thing. Obviously, not with the
Like
nudity
budget
and the
level, you mean?
yeah, not with like the
You don't want to
nudity
see
and like
Bathsheba?
not
Less wiener.
yeah, like
Though that is in the it's in the book.
yeah, but they did it respectfully in a way like that wouldn't like if
Respectful wiener.
I don't know that
if
Noah's
you're-
son did it respectfully. He kind of got cursed for it.
if you're
Or David.
religious,
David didn't
it
do it
is
either.
something you can watch kind of with your kids, except for maybe like a
Interesting.
little bit of language. If your kid, I would say like if your kids are probably in like the 13-year-old range,
Sure,
it is like a because when we were all younger, we had like the biblical stories, but they were corny as heck.
Of
Dude.
VeggieTales.
Speaking of
Yeah,
that,
it was like it's like how am I going to show? But like
That's
if you can
messed up.
take these stories and bring them to real life,
Yeah.
it's a different way of passing down these stories to a new generation. And I think they did it. They also do a show with Jesus. Is it The Chosen?
The Chosen, yeah.
And
Good
Well,
it's well made. So
It's like
like
movies, right?
I would definitely
just,
watch it.
just the last couple of days, because this is Easter week,
Mhm.
well, Holy Week, Passover for you guys, Holy Week for us. Angel Studios just released that King of Kings.
Oh,
and
right.
Apparently,
Yes.
that's doing amazing.
It's doing very well.
We reviewed it on with the Christian panel on Carrie Smith's channel like 3 weeks ago. We
You
all
watched
got to
it?
see it. Yeah,
Oh,
I watched it.
nice.
It is very much a very small kids movie,
Oh,
but
okay.
it will appeal to
Might bring my kids to see
it will appeal to Christian adults who want their kids exposed to that, or any adults who want their kids exposed to some degree of religion.
The criticism I thought of that was his neck was too skinny, and he's a white guy. That's the criticism I thought.
Art
So
style
it's
that
just
they
a
went with.
design thing.
Yeah.
I
My
like the way-
criticism was you've got freaking Mark Hamill in a
Yes, I thought that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
yeah, and he
Who's he
actually is-
playing?
he's playing Herod, which
Okay.
makes sense because you know
Yeah.
Herod, kill all the children. Mark Hamill, hey,
Kill all the children.
kill the grandchild. But he literally is doing the Joker voice. Honestly, the only character that I thought did kind of bad work as a voice actor was the guy doing Jesus, which was Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah, Oscar. Did it feel like he phoned it in or something?
Didn't feel like he phoned it in. It felt like he went with the highly non-emotional, let's be a robot Jesus.
Oh, okay.
So
And
I'm
instead of
higher
having
than
real-
you, so I must talk.
Yeah,
like
it was
this,
just
and
kinda-
I am Jesus.
Yeah,
So,
I
the Lord,
have
your
no
God.
Sounds like a South Park
personality or
thing.
identity.
Yeah.
I'm just Jesus.
So it's
That
a
kind of
typical like actor who they decided
Actor
to put
who
in a
tries
voice
to do
acting
Jesus.
role that doesn't know how to voice
And
act.
it sounds exactly like Oscar Isaac.
Well,
Yeah.
I just made a bad choice.
Forrest
Yeah.
Whitaker did great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many big names in this. Uma
There-
Thurman
I was
did
surprised at the cast of this. Honestly,
and it actually is. So I think it was David Copperfield. I think is no, not David Copperfield.
Isn't that
That's
the
the
magician?
magician.
That's the magician.
Uh,
Epstein Island.
He
Like,
should
was on the
have
flight logs.
David
Not
Copperfield should have played
Copperfield.
Jesus.
He
That's it.
who is the author that did like
David Letterman.
no, that did
David
the
Goliath.
Scrooged and all that kind of stuff. Well, Scrooged is the movie version, but
Da-
David,
to
I don't know. You're
run out
so
of time, Brahma.
very famous author, did a ton of classic books that we've all read. But I mean, he actually did write this and kept it private for his family, and it was him telling his kids the story of Christ.
Okay,
So after David
Mm.
Copperfield,
Dave, how did
Wow.
you get David Copperfield?
Must be the
Charlie-
hermit.
I'll tell you how. No, it,
So it
for
was
whatever
a
reason,
story that he
was
wrote
stuck
that
in
didn't.
my head, and I wasn't gonna let go of David Copperfield. Whatever. But Charles Dickens, yes,
Okay, so they took a Charles Dickens story that he wrote
that
for his
he
family
wrote
and
for his kids about
Interesting.
Christ, where he tells the story of Christ through like 12 little vignettes
Wow.
about different portions of Christ's life, and they animated it all. So it's like 12 different little stories. It is very much for little kids, but it's also something where, like, if you did get the physical media or whatever, you know, your kids might like this portion of the story. Go to that chapter, you get a 12-minute,
Yeah.
15-minute vignette, because that's kind of how the story's told. He's involved with his kid actively during the retelling of Jesus's life.
Okay.
So they're kind of like there watching as it happens, pretending they're involved.
I saw the trailer to this, and it
Like
looked
Quantum Leap.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. And what it made me think of was like, okay, this is how you do like,
Children's animation.
I mean, anti-woke stuff, you know, like Angel Studios seems to be producing good, like better, obviously better than what Daily Wire was doing.
Well, yeah.
Like this, like I thought when I saw it was Angel Studios, I thought, okay, good. This looks good. The animation looks fun. It looks like it's appealing to kids. It's telling a good story. Hearing what are you laughing at?
David Copperfield.
Yeah. It looks like David Copperfield really nailed this one.
He wrote it for his kids. I
Disappeared
heard.
so good. He went behind that plane. The plane disappeared, and then it came back.
I'm literally sitting here
He
like,
did the-
David who? I've read his books. What?
No,
Eiffel
seriously,
Tower,
I
man.
don't know where my mind got stuck there, but
Oh,
But
man.
I think it's like it's not anti-woke. It's
No,
just it's a story
It's
that
just
appeals to
telling the story.
people
Well-
that it would appeal to. Like
No,
it's
yeah.
not like I don't want to tell a woke story, so I'm going to then make. That's the problem with Lady Ballers is like you could have told a funny story, get some actual writers, Jeremy, not you, boring. Get some actual writers, listen to the comedians that you hired, and let them tell a funny story with some stuff that would like poke fun at the other side. But when you make it a preachy, like
yeah.
here's what the message is, it's not. It's just as bad
Lady Ballers
as woke.
was so
It's
That's-
two sides of the same
It's
coin.
they're both woke. It's both the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
this
just-
also kind of
it-
goes to the new Chronicles of Narnia that they're doing,
Oh,
where they're trying.
I don't even.
Let's ruin a show
let's
as quickly
let's
as we
turn
can.
Aslan, the symbolism for God and Jesus, into a chick.
How?
Why not?
He has a man.
Meryl Streep. Let's just do it.
he has a mane, which means
Well,
he is a male. The mane is cut off. It's part of the story. He is supposed to be Jesus. Literally, that's what C.S. Lewis
C.S.
said.
Lewis.
It is an analogy
Very
for
specific
Jesus Christ.
analogy for
Yep.
And the
Christians.
first thing you do is Meryl Streep, bro.
Yeah.
Just cut off his balls. Can you believe it?
Meryl
So I
Streep
think the
sucks
Rings of
anyway.
Power was the first step to that. Ruining like the first.
Oh no, there were plenty of steps long
No.
before that.
I just
Rings of Power was just a very, very big budget version of it.
mhm.
Wheel of Time was just as bad. The Dark Tower was just as bad. Remember, we did have the gender, or not the gender swap, but the race swap in the Dark Tower years before Rings of
That's
Power
true.
and Wheel of Time.
But it was
And
Idris
it
Elba.
still made no sense,
Yeah,
even though
true.
it's a great actor, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
The whole second book of the Dark Tower has a whole bunch of racial undertones between the gunslinger and the black chick that he rescues.
Really?
And
I've never read it.
like she calls him a cracker the whole time. Doesn't really work when you got Idris Elba being your cracker.
Might be a little weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole book is full of racial undertones, and they just decided, no, we're going to go with this and have Matthew McConaughey be like, the shine's so good in you. Like, so
Wait, is the
Alright.
shine
Alright.
in
Yeah,
in
it's all
that
connected.
too?
It's all
it's
connected.
not in the books.
This is what pisses
But
me
it's-
off.
They
We're going-
decided
It's
they had to bring
connected,
in
though.
the shine from The Shining to the Dark Tower, which, yes, all of Stephen King's stuff is integrated into the Dark Tower.
that
But
really?
they're never.
Yeah, that's
the
what the
Dark
Dark
Tower
Tower
is the epic series that brings all of his books together.
All of it together.
Okay, so
Every book.
I haven't read it either, but here's my thing. We're so far off topic. I don't care. This is what this show does. The
This is-
best.
I'm,
You know,
I'm
there's a Go Bridge.
if your mixer is lowered in Windows, then it's going to be lowered no matter what. If your mixer. Hey,
Oh,
Hey.
that's working again.
All right.
We're on.
We are good. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show.
We had
I
a
had
whole talk
nothing
about
to do with
Stephen
it.
King, The Shining, and every breaking detail about every Stephen King book ever written in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you guys heard none of it. So
Too bad. Too bad.
sorry for you guys.
Yes. I was going into just this passionate.
He cried.
I
He
was
He
like,
dropped tears. Like it was passionate. It's too bad it was off screen.
you're right. So yeah, I don't even remember like how this all linked together, but I was so upset with essentially how The Shining, the book, just the movie did not do the book justice, because the movie is great. It's one of the all-time greats for sure. Kubrick is, it's a masterclass in filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the Shining, the movie versus like Dr. Sleep, they don't connect very well, because the movie and the book goes into much more detail about what the shine is,
right,
and how it relates to Danny, because Jack Nicholson or Jack Torrance doesn't have the shine, or he doesn't use it the way Danny does. And I can't even remember at this point like what. But
is Dr. Sleep the movie more of a sequel to the book The Shining, and not the movie?
Well,
The
there was
Shining?
an actual book sequel.
But so the problem.
So it's an
also a
adaptation of
movie
the
sequel.
book that's a sequel to the other book. But
Yeah.
the movie that everybody remembers is not really the book.
Yes, so they
Right.
do a sequel to the book, right? Dr. Sleep
Right.
is a sequel to the book, and then they do a sequel movie that is a sequel to the movie, but it's a sequel to the book. Does that make sense?
So it's an adaptation
not a
of
sequel.
the book.
It's not a sequel to The
a
Shining
sequel to
movie.
the
It's a sequel to The Shining book.
But it doesn't make as much
doesn't
sense. Yeah.
Bro, it's all supposed to be that
Also,
way.
welcome to the stream, Culture Casino.
Yeah,
Culture Casino is here with us, everybody.
Hello.
The Shining expert, Culture Casino.
Yes.
What are
What
your
do you think
opinions?
about Dr. Sleep and The Shining?
The Shining was a fun movie. It made Sissy Spacek a little crazy.
Wait,
You mean
not Sissy Spacek?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
No,
no?
Shelley.
Shelley
Duvall.
Duvall?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah, olive oil herself.
Freaking David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not a Shining expert, but I do know that Jack was great in that.
Would you like a bourbon?
Red
Oh,
Rob.
No, I'm driving.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
driving.
Too bad.
I will say I appreciate being here in my multicultural Barbie hat.
Yes.
I was going to comment on that. I like it.
Yeah.
It's supportive.
We got limited time left, but one thing I wanted to bring up, and I know Garrett, you're always a big fan of this platform.
Politics.
Woo!
Carmelo Anthony.
Dude,
That happened not too far from me.
I know.
Up in Dallas area.
Yep.
Yeah, Frisco.
I wasn't going to talk about
No,
that.
I'm not going to make you talk about it.
We
Talk
can't
about
if we
what
have
you
time. I want to. I always seem to. Rumble always seems to be in the news on my feed.
Rumble's ass. And I've been telling you this for years, dude. Rumble is ass and the numbers are fake.
Well,
They're
now
fake.
now
We've
they're
said that on
promoting.
the midweek hump so many times.
Now they're promoting.
He's never gonna get a sponsorship by Rumble now, man.
You don't
I don't-
want it.
I don't
You don't
care.
want it. It's crap.
Now we have their CEO promoting Iggy Azalea
Chris Pavlovsky.
and her crypto crap. Motherland. It's like
Oh, my
a
God.
casino.
It's such a disappointment, dude. It's such a disappointment because we need an alternative.
Yeah.
Rumble's not it, bro. It's
Well,
not.
I mean, there's two ways to look at it.
Let's hear Brahma stand for this
Here we go.
company.
Rumble's numbers are crap. We
Yeah.
all know it. I've experienced it. You've
Yes.
experienced it. Everybody's.
I've heard from the
experienced
inside.
it. The numbers are absolute crap. The raw views versus whatever other kind of views.
Right.
Nobody chats when you've got 1,500 people watching and your same 30 chatters are there. I don't trust any of it.
Yeah. The
However,
searchability.
they will let you get away with anything.
No, they won't.
I have.
Free speech isn't a thing.
No,
I have not been muted or taken down for anything
Well-
I have done, whether it's playing hockey clips,
Yeah,
playing
that might be true.
songs,
Yes, that might be
playing
true.
any of my political views. Nothing has been taken down
But they do censor certain words on there.
What?
They have to.
in
in
chat.
chat, yeah.
Yeah, they have to.
Okay,
Well,
in
that could
chat.
be,
That's
is
not
that-
me getting censored
an
as a
app store.
creator.
feature because they can't allow certain words because otherwise they won't be allowed in the App Store.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
But that's not censoring me as a creator talking.
That's
about
good.
anything.
Yep, that's good.
We're more
Yep.
concerned about that than chat not being able to say the N-bomb anytime they want.
Okay, but let's speak to the fact that the discoverability, obviously,
Mm.
and the other things that exist there. Like, for example, I've been on Rumble since I could be,
Mhm.
Me too.
and I've
Me
had
too.
like
Yeah.
about negative growth. I mean, it feels like, it's like I'm growing by thousands over on YouTube, and I'm growing
Mhm.
not at all on Rumble, which is strange because I'm providing the same quality content on both platforms. So it's wild. What?
Yeah.
Krabby
See,
Patty in chat said, "Chat will find a way."
See, I'm
They
not as like
will.
well informed as Garrett or you guys when it comes to Rumble. I just view it from like the outside perspective of y'all are just buying talent.
Oh yeah.
So like they buy the talent and then they have everybody come over, and then when the talent leaves, what happens? Everybody's gonna
You mean Doctor's Disrespect wasn't a good investment?
like
Dr.
I've
Disrespect
had-
never went exclusive, and that was why he does not bring anything to the table.
my biggest issue is cultivate your talent on your platform. Take those who are, let's say, smaller channels and they're extremely loyal to your channels. Help them grow to the point of, I mean, obviously nobody's going to go to like Dr. Disrespect on Rumble, but like help them grow as creators and maybe bring larger creators on with them, or have like a spotlight, with your high talent, be like, hey, can you make a little bit of time for new creators on Rumble to just pop in your show, or these kind of things. If you want to make it like a community kind of thing, I don't think it would be a bad idea. But I do think the people who are simping for Rumble so much, something does throw me off when so many people are like, hey, join Rumble, and I'm not seeing the success for small people on there.
I understand why people simp for it, why they want it to happen. Because, it'd be great if there was an alternative to YouTube that is more free. You could say whatever you want, but that place is not Rumble.
Well,
You want it to be. I want it to be, but it is not. And it's never been. It's been about getting numbers that are fake and like inflating their numbers and going like, hey, look, our numbers are over here. If big, XYZ creator comes over here, you can get this much money. And then they pay him money to come over there and stream for a while. And they don't really do a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of carryover. There's some, but there's not a whole lot. They don't grow. And the second that YouTube goes, okay, you're monetized again. Oh,
Right.
but I'm of two
it's
minds.
like, what is...
But
What are
I'm
you doing?
of two minds there, because then I'll ask you this, Garrett. This whole idea of the daily network idea where they pass one streamer to another streamer to another streamer.
Yeah.
I'm of two minds about that, because I'm looking at it going, okay, that's great for those 6 people.
Right.
It is lousy for discovery. See, and I think that's the biggest problem with Rumble. It lacks discovery. It's like if it doesn't qualify the people that are providing information and whatever it happens to be in whatever area it happens to be, but it doesn't say, oh, this is a good match for you because this person does this same content. And that's the algorithm that YouTube just benefits from. It's going to pass you to something similar, even if it's a completely new creator. Like I've been getting a bunch of new people in my feeds, and they're all tied up with the same stuff that I'm already watching
on YouTube.
Yeah,
me too. I see a ton of videos, like specific for me. I want to see a video platform. This is not a video platform. It's more of a streaming platform. It's more of an alternative to Twitch.
Yes.
What they're trying to do, not a YouTube alternative. Because if it was YouTube, they'd have they'd have videos up on the front, and they would do what you're saying is they would suggest you the next thing that's kind of in the same wheelhouse. They would do the same thing that we've been talking about for a long time. Where are the cat videos? Where the hey, how do I change my oil videos?
Right.
How do I
Still go to
those?
I found,
I go to YouTube for that.
I went up and looked like a car video on Rumble, and it was for a Jeep Grand Cherokee. 3 views on it. I was one of, maybe it was 15. But
now there's 4.
That's nobody's going there for that. Like you said, it's a Twitch alternative. It's not a YouTube alternative.
Worse yet, it's a duplicate of Kick or
Well, now it is, especially
now.
Yeah, and that's my problem is that they don't. And I'm not saying that this platform and every platform needs to care about the small creator, but like you said, like the people who are showing up every day to support you, which are a lot of times these smaller creators who believe in something new. Like Iggy Azalea doesn't give a shit about what you're doing. She just sees dollar signs. Oh, hey, look, I got this cryptocurrency that's going to fail in 6 months. Dr. Disrespect is just trying to get a buck. All these other people like I Show Speed and whoever else is getting a contract, like they're there for the quick buck. They're not there for the long haul, which, you know, do what you want. But there's people on here who actively want to grow your brand. Those are your investments in the long run, like not Iggy Azalea. Sure, she might, you know, give you a bunch of a boost here because a lot of people don't, you know, who don't know the platform might jump on here. But, you know, there's just a huge identity crisis with Rumble in general. I think it doesn't really know what it wants to be.
Well, they're not making their own creators.
Yeah.
Like all these other creators, they're from other platforms that grew, that like other people's gardens made this fruit. And you're just taking the fruit and going like, would you like this?
Right.
It's like, where are your, you know, baskets of apples that you're making, that you're growing?
Right.
It's not there. Why don't you take the millions of dollars that you go buy some streamer somewhere and invest it into your platform and make it easier to upload things, or make the discovery, like focus on development and make the discovery of videos better. So then you could build up be like, wouldn't that be so much better to say, this is a Rumble from the ground up creator that gets millions of views every single day on stream or whatever it is. That's our creator that we made, but you're not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I bring it up, I say like, I want to see a rags to riches kind of story. You know, like on YouTube, you have people who like started at nothing. I'm like, it's hard. The best example would be like Mr. Beast, who was just doing like tiny stuff in the beginning, like pennies and counting and all that. And then he exploded. I have yet to see somebody who started with like zero people on Rumble and absolutely explode. That I don't want Rumble to fail. I actively want to see that.
Yeah.
Now it's not going to be me because I'm not like a, you know, big time anybody, but like I want to see people actually invest in their platform for the people who are dedicated to the platform.
I would like the platform to invest in the people that invest in the platform.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to spend your time, especially for a lot of the people that exclusively upload there, like I know Raiken does,
right?
It's like invest in those people.
Yes.
Like reach out to those smaller creators that have been posting for a year straight and go, hey, let's do a deal with you and try to, like, I know they've done some, like they had
the creator program.
I had a deal with them for about a year or maybe it was 6 months or something like that to stream over there. Same thing is, it grew because they were specifically going, okay, now this person's going to get, you know, featured.
Yeah.
And then after that, zero growth.
Well, 2 years ago,
it's wasting my time. I don't have the energy to do that.
Yeah, 2 years ago, before they started doing this gigantic program with everybody, they had a situation where there was no algorithm. So, like when I went live on Saturday nights,
you can't convince me there's an algorithm on Rumble. Sorry.
There isn't. But when I went live on Saturday nights, I would be on the front page every Saturday night because I was the only sports thing going on live on Saturday night. So I got featured, and it would say I would have 2,000 views, and I'd have the same 20 chatters. Because if you're on the front page, the only people that you're getting the views from are anybody who sees it on the front page. So if you get seen on the front page, that's a view on Rumble. Who sees it on the front page? Sorry, you unmuted. So, so the numbers really weren't real.
Yeah, they're just inflated.
I was not getting anybody actually coming to the page because I was on the front page. I was getting 1,500 raw views, but I was getting the same 40 unique views that would follow me over from YouTube at any given time.
So do you think that has to do with how they build feeds? I think it does.
Yeah,
right.
It does,
You know,
because
the
there's
structure.
no algorithm. It's literally just whoever was live was up front before.
Which is
now
like,
they've gone to a different thing.
But I
where
think they're also
handpicking
manually.
people,
Yeah, they're manually
and putting them on the front
Yeah.
page because, I mean, since Bongino,
Yeah, I get
blew
that
up,
guy. Yeah, I get that guy.
Crowder,
Yeah.
you know, all the things that they're trying to blow up,
Right.
they manually put them on the front page because there is no algorithm.
and I would like to see both. I would like to. I don't mind having
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
a
Today's picks.
a
or something.
staff
You
page
have
or
your
whatever.
stars.
YouTube used to be that way.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
good with that. But also have a feed that rotates different creators,
You feature your
based off
stars
of-
and rotate other creators,
like
that
some
have been
kind
on
of
there.
growing leaderboard kind of thing. Like
'Cause I've
what's
been on
interest?
since the beginning, essentially.
Right. So it's like that they just don't have those infrastructures in because they haven't invested in development. Because they've been spending all this money on getting Dr. Disrespect on and all these people. It's like, stop doing that.
Right.
Because that doesn't bear a lot of fruit. That gets you the quick hit of, look at all these people that jumped over the first day or whatever.
Right.
But after that, it's just going to trickle down.
I will
Like,
say that-
invest in the platform.
I will
Especially
say
when-
that I appreciate during the early days that with one subscriber, well, with me paying for Rumble Premium, the $9.99, which I was happy to do to promote the platform when at the very beginning.
Yeah.
When we're like, okay,
Let's give it a run.
what was the other one that got taken down off of all the app stores and everything?
BitChute. There was BitChute.
No,
there
it
was
wasn't BitChute. It was
No,
a big one.
Parler.
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 I've tried all of them, bro.
The one that got taken
Yeah.
down by
Tired.
Apple and
Yeah, that was Parler.
and Google. So
Well, they were
Rumble
absolutists for-
Rumble started to rise, and it was like, okay, I'll invest in it. I bought stock, and I paid for the Rumble Premium, which means I didn't have to have any subs, and I could go live. I could also immediately get memberships, and I could also immediately get Rumble chats. I can't do that on YouTube. It took another year for me
That's
to
true.
get any money from YouTube,
But-
Yeah, but
and I
you-
was getting
but
money.
Can I
from
stop you
Rumble.
there? And this is something I tried to explain to people like on a Twitter thread, and or in an X space, because everyone's like, oh, you gotta pay for this, and there's all
I
this like
remember that. I was
all,
listening.
all this like you have all these requirements. I'm like, these are how platforms like they need to, like YouTube gets so big or Rumble will get so big that they're gonna want money coming in. They have to find a way to automate these things. They can't keep hand picking people to get into their monetization programs. So you need
But
to
it wasn't with Rumble.
Yeah, but no, I understand that. But you need high standards sometimes. Like, and it's good for people to have higher standards, 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours. That sucks to monetize, but it puts them in a situation where they don't have to pay every Joe Nobody for their content.
That's
And
not
they're-
going to be
I
dedicated.
get what you're saying,
What's that?
but it costs.
It's a dedication thing. It's
Right.
like, are you dedicated to actually trying to put up content?
Right.
Do you have 1,000 watch hours? Do you have 1,000 or whatever it is?
But
Like
with
that
Rumble-
means that you are going to try and can actually make content for people, and then that's what we'll get the
But
ball
with
rolling
Rumble's
and paying you
situation,
and doing all the bank shit, like all that stuff. That
With-
costs money. So.
With Rumble's situation,
Understand.
it was a brand new situation. They knew that most people that were coming over due to YouTube.
Mhm.
And they knew on smaller creators, I don't get paid on YouTube anything from anybody. Even if somebody wanted to support me, they have to go through Streamlabs, Stream Elements, buy me a coffee.
Yeah.
But on Rumble, they could immediately become a sub to me for $5 a month. And Rumble did get money out of that.
Yeah.
Rumble does get money out of the Rumble chats, out of somebody who cannot get monetized on YouTube for a while later. Meanwhile, me as a creator, I'm at least getting something. I mean, even if it's $20,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time streaming. I don't make a lot, but in the beginning, at least the people who really wanted to support me could do it over on Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, but how are they finding you?
They found me on YouTube.
Right.
That's why Rumble lets their creators have
Yeah.
memberships and
Yeah.
Rumble rants from the beginning.
Yeah, but
Wasn't
because
there
they
a
know where
time
that
it was
crowd is coming
exclusive
from.
That's the
only?
problem.
Like the contracts were like
It's a problem, but it's also
exclusive?
good for a creator that's
Yeah.
new.
I understand that. Yeah, but there's no growth from that. It's like if you built up your audience on YouTube and then you weren't able to like get paid over there or whatever, like then you could come to Rumble and then bring some of them, not all of them. It's not going to be 100% crossover. Some amount will come over and pay you on Rumble, but that amount is not going to get any bigger. It's
But-
going to stay right there.
And
Right.
that's the problem. And look, you rely on your competitor to build your discovery, which is what Brahma's been talking about, and something that you said. You're not building any kind of exclusive, relationship with Rumble, and they're not developing any kind of, exclusive situation with the customer because your content's being distributed on YouTube as well. So but what they need to do is reward creators that have exclusivity, even in like videos. Like this is a Rumble exclusive video, right? It's a checkbox when you're filling out and maybe that hits the different algorithm. Maybe that makes you featured, and maybe that helps creators grow on that platform. Maybe it builds a base audience on that platform. But you can't do that if it's the same people that were watching you on YouTube, that were watching you on Rumble. What did you gain, and what did they gain?
You split your audience. Is what that is
Right.
absolutely what happened. It's like when I started trying to do like the dual stream stuff, it made my YouTube audience go down, and then my Rumble audience go. It's like super
and
small.
then nobody's chatting
then
on
there's-
Rumble, and
nobody's
wondering
chatting
why
over
nobody's
here.
there, and they want to be back on YouTube where
Yeah.
people are chatting.
Yep.
And then there's the bigger, the really big guys, say Bongino. Like, yes, he's got 100,000 people in there watching, chatting. Nobody's paying attention, but like I'm listening to him on a podcast, because when I would tune to Bongino on Rumble, you're seeing the commercial break every 10 minutes where he's literally got the mic muted, going off the camera and doing whatever, or just reading through text and whatever.
Yeah.
So I would rather watch the condensed version as a podcast, or listen to it as a podcast, than have all the commercial breaks in Rumble that aren't really commercial breaks. It's just him muting and disappearing for 3 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I think to your
Because
point,
he's
when-
doing the radio show / podcast, right? So
So when it came to your point about Rumble exclusives, like YouTube has very strict rules when it comes to like copyright and things like that. Now, as you know, when you do edits, sometimes you have to use like copyright.
Fair use.
I would never.
Yeah, but it's like
never done that.
like, but you have like, in order to like help people
Yeah.
learn, you have to bring it up on screen and say, okay, this is the clip we want to use. Like, I would like to do that with Rumble, but I can't do that because it's not worth my time to do. I am making exclusive content like for like Rumble videos when I do decide to like bring it out. So I'll make a YouTube version, and then I'll make both versions at the same time, and they make an edit for YouTube and then an edit for Rumble. But I'm still super hesitant to even put it up on Rumble, just because nobody's gonna go there or see it.
The
It's not
juice
going to
isn't
be useful
worse.
to people.
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
well,
the amount of work it takes for, I don't know, it's like work, but like you're doing all the work to put it on YouTube, and then you have to do all this extra work to get like barely any extra engagement over there and no growth at all. So it's just difficult to justify that.
Discouraging.
here's what I think that guys like us should
And then we
do.
got to wrap up.
Yep.
Sorry.
This is last point on Rumble. Culture, your old DIY channel.
Mhm.
Perfect place for Rumble. Me doing a video on how to get your Jeep naked, take off all the tops, how to, you know,
Hey.
everything about a Jeep, how to get it in
Naked.
naked mode, doors off, tops off, those kind of things. Those are the videos that we should be doing and putting on Rumble.
Yeah.
Sure.
Completely separate from anything we do on YouTube, because what Rumble's missing is the searchability to go in and be like, hey, how do I take the top off my Jeep? How do I take the doors off my Jeep? How do I build this,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
garden center? How do I build a greenhouse?
Right.
That is what Rumble is missing, is all of those searchable videos, which is their problem. They don't have searchable video really.
Yeah.
But that's what would grow them, is the DIY, the how do you do this? How do you do that? Because what do we still do with YouTube? Even my dad, who's 20 years older than me, you know, approaching his 70s, if he has a question on how to do something, he calls me. What do I tell him? Go look on freaking YouTube.
Yep.
Search it on YouTube. You'll find the answer, and you'll be able to do it in a second.
Yeah,
That's
there's-
what Rumble needs.
the very final thing is like Rumble needs to find a way to make itself we need to YouTube it or Google it. If
Yeah.
Rumble can find a way to make itself an adjective,
People keep saying cat
Yeah.
videos. It's not cat videos. It's how to do
but they
videos are the reason somebody will go to a platform.
right. I want to thank everyone for being here today. We got a hard out. The Salty Nerd Podcast has got some other people coming in, and this has been an awesome experience, as it is every single year. We've had some great people here tonight. If we can keep it to like 30 seconds, we can go around the table and see who has got what coming up. Culture, what do you got coming up here?
Well, I'm still doing the 6-minute daily early in the mornings here from Vegas live. They're abbreviated, but you can check that out on my channel, Culture Casino. So that.
Awesome. No Green Rocks, what do you got?
I'm moving away a little bit from the live stream content because I want to focus on my editing and, make videos when I'm not completely exhausted and my brain actually works. So I do have a new channel. I want to thank was Madhouse.
Madhouse Retro Gaming.
Yeah, he went to the channel and subscribed and dropped a few comments. So shout out to you,
My boy.
dude. The channel is called 8 on eFans. So 8 as in spelled out the letter. So if you guys want to check it out, feel free. If not, it's also all good. I just want you to enjoy the content.
From now on, we'll have that link in every single show for the midweek.
Yeah, I was already nervous enough to go out.
About time.
Garrett, what do you got coming up?
Go subscribe to his channel. That's it.
Awesome. Brahma, what do you got?
Saturday night, Bourbon and Boarding. We are doing a bracketology for the Stanley Cup playoffs. DM me.
Hockey sucks.
DM me or email me from the YouTube page, brahmabull.socialmedia@gmail.com to get the intro or the entry for that. And then Sunday mornings, we do the bullpen. That's me and little Chad doing the political talk.
Awesome. And you guys know, you just come to this channel every Wednesday night, and at least one time during the week, I'm streaming from my car with a conversation, talking about whatever I want. But yeah, midweek comp every Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We like to talk about everything and anything, comedy, culture, commentary. That's what we do. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you everyone who was here and watched. You guys are awesome. We love you. And thank you to the Salty Nerd Podcast Studio.
Yes.
We love you guys. Thank you
He's
so much.
over
Bye, guys.
7 seconds. Cut him off.
I like to put stuff online.